Welcome back to Book Explorers, where we explore wonderful books for kids in kindergarten through second grade and in third through fifth grade every month. Now, this month, the book for kindergarten through second grade is Fry Bread, a Native American family story, written by Kevin Noble Maillard and illustrated by Juana Martinez Neal. Now, if you've seen my first video, you know why this is a great book to read, and maybe you've even read the book. Today, we're going to be talking about a discussion question, a question to talk about after you've read the book. And the question I have for you today is, why is fry bread an important food for Native American history and culture? What makes it so important? I learned about the answer for this book by reading the author's note at the end of the book. And the author's note is awesome, and it's very long. It's got a lot of information in it from Kevin Noble Maillard. Lots of stuff. So I'm only going to read this first section of it, the very beginning of it. And here's what I learned from reading the author's note. The story of fry bread is the story of American Indians embracing community and culture in the face of opposition. It is commonly believed that the Navajo, Diné people were the first to make fry bread over 150 years ago. The basic ingredients may appear simple: flour, salt, water, and yeast. Yet the history behind this community anchor is anything but. Despite colonial efforts through American history to weaken tribal governments, fracture indigenous communities, and forcibly take ancestral lands, Indian culture has proved resilient. In strange, unfamiliar lands, exiled natives strived to retain those old traditions, and they created new ones, especially for food. Survival meant adapting, and those ancestors, isolated from familiar meats, fruits, and vegetables, got by with what they had. Without the familiar indigenous crop of corn, historic farming practices and dietary traditions drastically changed. Many tribes trace the origin of modern Indian cooking to this government-caused deprivation. From federal rations of powdered, canned, and other dry government-issued foods, fry bread was born. So when I read that, I learned that fry bread came out of a situation that was not good. It came out of a situation in which families didn't have access to the food that was their tradition, that was part of their culture. And they created a new tradition and a new food to keep their families together and to nourish them, both their bodies and their spirits. When I learned that, it made me think about the foods that were important in my own family. And so that's my next question for you to think about. What are some foods that are important in your family? What are some traditions or cultures that are, or cultural things that are important for you and your family? Think about that and maybe talk about it with somebody in your life. All right, well, thank you so much for joining me. Remember, Book Explorers is reading books, and it's getting take-home kits. You can get a take-home kit from your local library branch in the month of July while supplies lasts. And you can talk more with us about all of this stuff, all this book and all of these ideas by coming to our book club, and check for the link below. That'll be in the month of July as well. And don't forget, this month we have special clay workshops as well. So if you've gotten your take-home kit and you have your modeling clay, you can come to a clay workshop as well. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye.